We talked about Davante Adams. We laid out our cases, especially on Foxborough Rush, between the Patriots, the Jets, and the 49ers. I was texting you and our producer Brendan this morning. I go, let's go let's do tiers. I wanted to look at more teams, and we're going to put them in tiers. And you came up with the tiers, and I love what you did. So tier 1 is pick up the phone.
Yeah, you got to make the call.
Tier 2 is a Davante away.
Yes, one piece. We think we go in the championship. We need that one piece. There he is, a Davante away.
Tier 3, the rich get richer.
I mean, we don't really need him, but hell,
we'll take
go on and do something. Come on with us, Davante. Watch how we get this done.
So tier 1 to me is pick up the phone.
Yeah.
It's 2 teams with identical timelines.
Okay.
One is ahead of the other.
Okay.
The Patriots and the Commanders.
Okay.
You pick up the phone. They both have the cap space to afford them.
Yep.
The Commanders obviously need something, and Davante Adams steps in and is much better than Terry McLaurin, but they have a wide receiver 1.
Yes.
The Commanders need their draft picks just like the Patriots. They need these cost control contracts. They need to invest in the defense, but they have their quarterback checked off for now. I always say what stops me with Davante Adams is he will be 32 years old, and there's a real drop-off after a receiver turns 30. He balled out last year for the Raiders. With whatever they had working at quarterback, he made it work. But I don't know if he can do it again. But you pick up the phone because you go, hey, have you guys gotten any real offers? 5th rounder? It would give our offense juice. For the Commanders, I mean, they could win their division if they add Davante Adams and add another layer to that offense. For the Patriots, it just saves us in some way, and we don't care if it's a rental.
I love the way you laid that out because, look, if you're the Patriots, you have to make the call because your offense is just god-awful. Okay, so you should be calling any damn bite. You should call the local Stop and Shop. I mean, if you got a big guy bagging groceries, can he get out there and play left tackle? Thank you very much. You should be picking up the phone for any damn thing offensively. But more than likely, timeline as you laid out, Davante Adams, mileage and age and all that, it doesn't really match up with where the Patriots are. I love your Commanders idea. I do. And they not only should pick up the phone, they should really be aggressive in trying to get him because that timeline matches up much better in this sense. Yes, a young team. You mentioned Jaden Daniels. Terry McLaurin, not exactly old either. That's a young team with a new head coach, a new culture, all those things. But, I mean, I'm looking right now at the NFC East standings. George, they could win this division. I mean, they're at top of it right now, today. We know Dak's a star in Dallas. The Eagles, on paper, should be way better than they are. So maybe they get hot and get it cooking, and the Giants just aren't there, but they're not as bad as we thought. If I'm the Commanders, I want to be aggressive, bring a Davante Adams in to get me over the hump and to keep me atop the division as the season goes on. I believe that can happen. If you get in the postseason, especially in the NFC, anything can happen.
You know what? I'm going to bump the Commanders to a Davante away.
Oh, you're moving it up.
They could win the division as it is right now, but they could be a Davante away from running away with that division.
Voila.
And you'll see who else. All right, so now we'll go to the next tier. A Davante away. Where do I want to start? Let's start with this. I'm going to keep the juicier teams later.
I'll follow you.
First 2 teams I have in the Davante away tier.
Okay.
The Steelers and the Cowboys.
Okay.
So the Cowboys have no defense, and really they should
or run game.
So really they should be spending this money figuring both of those things out and fixing that. They do.
Yeah.
But you have CeeDee Lamb, you have Dak Prescott, Brandon Cooks is hurt. They can't run the ball. They can't stop the run.
No, they can't.
How do you rescue your defense? You keep scoring points. You get Davante Adams to Big D, 1-year rental, $25 million in cap space. You can make it work. And the Cowboys are a Davante away from winning their division by default because it's so bad.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot to unpack. I'm not a Cowboys fan.
I don't want them there at all.
But I'll be honest.
But they're a Davante away.
I'll be honest. If I was a Cowboys fan and you land Davante, my excitement would be a bit tempered. And the reason why is because, and you laid it out, when you watch them, they cannot run the ball. They have no running game. So in this offseason, Jerry Jones told you, well, we couldn't afford Derrick Henry. Remember that quote? He was like, well, if you live in a mansion, but you can't afford it. Like, what? So you can't afford Derrick Henry, who's running all over the league with Baltimore. But you'll go out, and I get it's a rental, and I get the Raiders are eating a bunch of money, but still, you go out and you're willing to roll the dice and get Davante Adams. But that's not the weakness of our team. I think it would confuse me almost as a Cowboy fan Although, like now you become more.
You have to correct your deficiencies.
I know, but you become more pass dependent.
They can't run the ball. What's the problem with being pass dependent? They can't get anything on the ground.
Well, I would be trying to. I guess my point is I'd be trying to address our non-existent run game. The Steelers are the one that I'm the most interested in.
Davante away.
Yeah. I think the Steelers adding a Davante Adams with the way Justin Fields is playing. We know Mike Tomlin can coach.
You get an adult in the room to teach George Pickens how to be a pro.
I would imagine at this stage of Davante Adams' career, he wants to, win games. I don't know. Call me crazy. I really like that Steelers fit. I think that's a great fit.
You like these next two fits more.
All right.
So adding to the Davante away tier, the Bills.
Yeah.
And the Ravens.
Yeah, they both make all the sense in the world.
The Bills only have $3.1 million in cap space.
Okay.
So there would have to be a restructure.
Yeah.
And you go to the Raiders and go, we will give you more draft compensation.
Right.
You need to eat money. It will make this happen now. The Bills have 2 second-round picks in the 2025 draft.
Yep.
They have 7 top 140 picks in this upcoming draft.
Wow.
You give picks now. It's always, remember, picks now are more valuable than future picks because teams, in theory, should get better.
That's right.
And they're picking later.
That's right.
So you throw in one of your second rounders with a third rounder, and you have all these top 140 picks. You can trade back into the third round if you're the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
My issue is Khalil Shakur is good. Dalton Kincaid's good. James Cook is good. Keon Coleman's okay. Curtis Samuel's okay. Josh Allen needs a chain mover. Third and long, as we saw against Baltimore, the Superman cape came back out, and he felt like he had to play hero ball and didn't know what to do with the ball. Davante Adams can still take over games.
Yeah.
That's why the Bills are a Davante away from being a true playoff contender.
Yeah.
It's been magic through 3 games. We saw it hit ahead on the 4th game. I don't know if it's sustainable what that offense does. They're a Davante away from making it sustainable.
I completely agree. Only thing I would caution, these receivers talk. They're all divas. I mean, I mean this. He could have looked at what happened with Stephon Diggs and be like, not interested in going there. That's how these guys are.
He wants to go to New Orleans, bro.
I know. That's what I mean. I want to play with a quarterback that I'm familiar with. Diva behavior. The Ravens, if I'm him,
you do it.
I'm going to Lamar. Get me to Lamar. That would be my direct quote.
Ravens, only $4.6 million in cap space. So, again, you have to make it work with the Raiders.
Got to make it work.
2 fourths and 2 fifths in this upcoming draft. You throw in your second with one of those fourths.
Yep.
2 picks.
Yep.
In this upcoming draft, and maybe throw in a fifth too. I don't care.
Yep.
Or take those. That is so much good draft assets. Yep. So many good draft assets the Raiders can get in return. And then for the Ravens, the window is now too.
That's right.
You have your run game with Derrick Henry. Lamar Jackson, you paid him. Zay Flowers is good, but he's not a wide receiver 1.
That's right.
Mark Andrews has been MIFNA.
He has.
You get Davante Adams with this defense, man, and with that coaching. If you're Davante Adams and you're serious about football, you would love to go to the Ravens.
I think so. That's where I'd be trying to go.
You're the man in that offense.
Honestly, personally, I'd want Ravens or Steelers if I was him. Those would be my 2 teams.
And I will say, Commanders, Ravens, Bills, Cowboys, those are the 4 best quarterback options we listed so far.
Absolutely.
Steelers are beating out Jacoby Brissett. All right, ready for the rich get richer?
Yes.
Basically, you roll up to your boy's house. They got a sick lake house up in Vermont, right? And in the driveway, you see like a Lambo. You're like, wait, what? What does his dad do?
Where am I?
You see like a murdered out Range Rover. And then the dad pulls up in a murdered out G-Wagon, like 2-door. And you're like, where? That's a rich get richer with this one.
That's a rich get richer.
The 2 rich get richers, Detroit Lions and the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, no.
$40 million in cap space for the Lions, $55 million in cap space for the 49ers.
God.
Let's just think about, and the Lions in 2025 have a 1st, 2nd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and in 2026. So they don't have a lot of draft picks.
Yeah.
But the window's now for them. And I just let's picture this offense. Penei Sewell, your best offensive lineman. 2 great running backs in David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs.
St. Brown.
Jared Goff, when in the play action, is as best as they can be with Ben Johnson, one of the best play callers before he becomes a head coach.
Absolutely.
Right?
Great O-line, yeah.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, as steady and consistent over the middle as can be.
Yep.
Jamison Williams taking the top off the defense.
Yep.
And then you have Davante Adams lining up out wide, who's great in short, intermediate, and deep.
Yeah.
And you have Sam Laporta at tight end. They have the best receiving room in the NFL. The second Davante Adams goes to Detroit.
No question.
Rich get richer, and Detroit becomes Super Bowl favorites if they go get Davante Adams. They can afford him. They have the draft assets.
Yep.
They can pay him.
Yep.
and they can all make it happen, he gets a ring.
I agree with everything you said.
Playing in a dome.
But I feel the same way about the Lions as I do the Cowboys, which is the Lions need to address their defense. And their defense is not trustworthy enough to win a Super Bowl. So if I'm a Lions fan, yeah, of course I'm pumped to get a Davante Adams, but I'm like, bro, how are we going to stop anyone? We need to focus in on that. The 49ers is interesting to me because this is a team decimated with injuries. So they could look at this as, we need to go get this guy to sort of maintain our status quo. So we are the team to beat in the NFC. So we get back to a Super Bowl and maybe can win it this time. You bring a Davante Adams in, that helps you get back and regain that. Because right now, current day from what we've seen from the 49ers, they have regressed. And it's understandable because everyone's hurt, especially Christian McCaffrey.
They have the cap space. I know I laid it out. I was kind of talking out of the side of my neck, but Deebo Samuel could help out in the running back room more. You have Brandon Ayuk. Davante Adams comes in as your wide receiver 1. Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, George Kittle. You need this.
Yeah.
And that offense that Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers made magic happen together for 2 years in Green Bay, it's the same offense in San Francisco. You will get schemed open. Brock Purdy can get you the ball. It's one of the best quarterback situations.
We have all these tiers, but you don't have the Jets on here.
Yeah, I've realized as I said
you
that.
You don't have the Jets. And you still think that's the best fit.
A Davante away.
A Davante away?
They're Davante away. I should have put him on that one. So, recap of the tiers. Pick up the phone, the Patriots and the Commanders.
Hello?
Very different. Commanders he'd stay on line for. Patriots he's hanging up.
Patriots are hanging up.
A Davante away, the Steelers and the Cowboys to make a step forward. The Bills and the Ravens, who need a wide receiver 1, don't have the cap space, but have the draft assets to make it happen for the Raiders. And then rich get richer. The Lions, who would have the best receiving room in the league.
Yes, they would.
Or the 49ers, who need an elite wide receiver 1 because Brandon Ayuk hasn't been that guy yet.
Right.
I like those tiers.
I like it. I'm still a Steelers guy, personally.
I want Lions.